Hi everybody, this is Gary Fong, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to set up your Sony mirrorless camera so that it's optimized for tracking moving objects or people that are in motion. This is a completely different setup where you have to have all of the different parameters set properly, or else they will overlap or cancel each other. And this is something that takes quite a bit of explanation, so I want to show it to you because a lot of people will look at my action photography and go, I'm not understanding why my camera is not tracking properly or is focusing slower than one would think. And that's because I have it set up properly. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in this video. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we are in continuous focusing mode. That means that while the shutter is down, the camera will continue to measure, focus, and track. And the way that we do that is we'll just go to the function and we'll go over to autofocus. And we're, instead of single shot is handy if you're doing portraits and you want to use eye autofocus or something like that. But continuous is objects in motion. And what happens with objects in motion is that the camera turns on its phase detection focus points. Phase detection is sensor direct, and it's different than contrast detection because contrast detection actually goes a little bit past the brightest, the sharpest edge, and then returns, whereas phase detection points are much faster. And you can recognize them on the screen here by the little snowflakes that tend to just kind of pop in and out. So what happens here is, as you can see, when I move the camera around, the little snowflakes follow the object, whereas if I am in single shot mode like that and I set it, it will not refocus if the item is in motion. That's a very, very important distinction to make. You have to have the camera on AFC or else you will not catch objects in motion. Second thing to set would be the focus area and make sure that it's wide. Wide will allow it to track. So for example, right now let's go ahead and put it back to the proper one, which is continuous. And so right now it's on the proper setting, which is continuous and wide. And the reason why we want it to be wide is because, as you can see again, it's going to track the item completely across the screen. Now what happens if I don't have the focus setting on wide? Let's go to function again and put it on, for example, center. Okay, so if we're on center, watch what happens. As I move, it no longer tracks the item. In fact, it's getting quite a bit confused as to what it is that Gary wants. And under continuous focus, it's going to focus on the thing that is in the center. Okay, so you can see it right there, snap into focus, and the lamp right there just went into focus, and that is the spot. Now, unfortunately, that's not going to track properly because even though you have autofocus continuous on, you're focusing on the center spot, which is not going to give you good focus tracking. So we'll go to this focus area, and I'll show you another one that actually does work for this, which is Lock-On Autofocus Flexible Spot. Now with Flexible Spot, what happens is here, I can move this around. But what happens is, once the item crosses into my focus spot, I can hold it down and move, and you'll notice that it again will track. So with Flexible Spot, you have yourself a hole. And in that hole, you see the hole right there? See those cross braces? So you can go, whoop, I want that guy, and then keep your finger down, and it will hang on to that subject. And that's important if you're shooting, like, say, a football game, you want to follow the quarterback. Or if you're shooting children, you want to follow one kid while things are going in front. And let me show you how that works right now. We'll just go ahead and use the lock-on focus spot. And I'll put my hand in front of it, and I'll just go back and forth. And what it'll do is it will continue to return to that item because that's what I have chosen it to do with Lock-On Flexible Spot. Those are the only ways to track items. But now let me go back to the wide, because the wide is a really, really handy way to just go ahead and lock on objects that are in motion, especially when you're in high-speed motor. When you're in high-speed motor, you might not even have time to put your subject inside that flexible spot. So when you have it on wide, you'll notice that there is no spot, and it's just going, well, you know, what do you want me to focus on? I'm guessing it's that thing in the front, but it's only guessing, and it doesn't know if that's really the thing that I want. What if I want the thing that is, for example, in front of it, like the front edge of that table, rather than that? And that might be in a near-far photo, say a close-up of the bride's bouquet, but not the bride's face. So how are we going to override it and tell it that we don't want that thing, we want this thing, and we don't use flexible spot? That's done by doing Center Lock-On Autofocus. When I do that, it gives me a little dot in the middle, and then I will then christen that thing, and then it will become the focus spot. Now, it's really hard to see, so let's do it again. We'll put it right on, actually, I'll put it on that handle down there, okay? So now watch what happens. It's focused down on that handle below the camera. And so when I do that, it's going to prioritize whatever thing that I christen as the thing that I want to focus on. And that happens under wide. Now that also, focus tracking comes automatically whenever you have the camera on continuous focus. So right there now I've chosen the little camera model, and it's going to hang on to that. So let me reiterate that. Focus will always track when the camera is on continuous focusing mode. When you put it on still, it will disable the tracking. So, because it's going to just lock the minute that you hold your finger down, and it's going to fire on the thing that you chose. Now, you still can choose with the center lock-on spot what you want to prioritize and move it around, but the minute that you hold that finger down, now it's going to stay right where you had it. So the tracking turns off. Again, it's that combination of autofocus continuous and wide or object tracking that's going to allow you, and wide or lock-on autofocus flexible spot that will allow you to track an object in motion. So we'll go ahead and again put this on continuous. So in a situation, say for example, that you're shooting bride and groom coming up the aisle, or something like that, and you want the people in focus, in that situation you're going to want to turn face recognition on. Face recognition on is right over here. And this one is actually the registered faces, which in the Sony world you can actually memorize up to 8 faces and then put them in order, which is kind of cool. So you could have bride number 1, groom number 2, and then maid of honor or bride's mother's number 3, and whatever. And when you go and take your long telephoto lens, you shoot into a crowd, the minute it sees all those faces, it will pick number 1. If number 1's not there, it'll pick number 2. It's a pretty cool feature. But when you have face detection on, then now what's going to happen is the camera is going to look for faces, and it's not going to be looking for objects. So when you have it on wide and you hold it down, this thing's going, hey, where's the faces? Where's the faces? And that's how that works. In situations like that where you want to get the faces, you want to turn face recognition on. But in situations where, for example, you want to have things and not faces, like again, here's the example of the bouquet in focus and the bride's face blurry, you'll want to turn face recognition off. And again, I'm going to go back to this. Anything in motion, put it on autofocus continuous and the focus area wide, or the lock-on variable focus spot. It's called a flexible spot with lock-on focus. And that feature is only on the newest of Sony cameras, which would be this one right here, the Sony A7 Mark II, or the A77 Mark II has that. Also rams it up to 12 frames per second, which is pretty incredible. The A6000 does not have that. So under the A6000, you would want to do the center lock-on autofocus, which when you get used to it is still a very, very fast, in some ways almost faster way of choosing and anointing the one part of the image that you're going to want to emphasize. Okay, now we have got a lot of similar type courses in my premium channel. We call it premium channel, but we have extended length videos of many of the different Sony models, and actually we're going to start doing our Canon and Nikons, the newest ones that come out because they have the new technology. And we have like the Sony A7, A7R, A7S, A6000, A77 Mark II with in-depth tutorials just like you saw here, because it's very important to understand how these things work, or else you'll be disappointed. The issue that occurs with these very, very talented cameras is there's so many features but very few buttons. The nice thing is those buttons are customizable, and the not nice thing is all of those features are so revolutionary that you have to learn them, which is why I created these very, very extended length videos which show you how to unleash the power of your camera. So again, make sure to subscribe to this channel, and we will be covering all kinds of technology and cameras in depth in this style. And also visit GaryFong.com for the best in products and video training, the best in whatever we can do for you. Okay, thanks for watching.